Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Major Money, and it is our Flex Friday special edition that, as always, Ross joins me and we do our family plays together. And speaking of our family plays, Ross, we have done terrible on Major Money since it started. We brought you in, Sean had to go. He was forced to, but, I like the idea that we kicked him out because he was holding us back. We brought you in, and now we've hit two in a row. We went from literally not hitting a single one to hitting our first, hitting one back to back.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting here going for three. I don't think we're ever going to miss one again.
No.
Like, if we only take into account the statistics of the last 2 weeks, we're 100%. So I think we're doing pretty good here.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a lot of big games going on right now. And this weekend as well as this week for Prize Picks in general. And before we get into that, as always, though, remember, it's in the middle of your screen right here. Play $5, get $50 instantly if you use the code FIVE, F-I-V-E, at sign up. When we tweet out our picks, we'll actually include a link there that you can just click, and you don't even have to type it in. It'll already put it in there. So whenever you sign up and play that $5 bet, you get $50 instantly. You don't even have to worry about typing it in right or anything like that. And today is Flex Friday. They give out basically free flex picks and flex lineups to where if you lose, you get your money back in promo funds. So that is another good opportunity that we should be better at promoting on Flex Friday shows. But if you have listened to us the past 2 weeks, you have been hitting those. I went 3 for 3 last week, and I actually included all those in my Flex Friday play and went 4 for 4. So I think I used one of your props there, and we went 4 for 4 combined to hit me my 5 times cash, no sweat. So that was awesome. Ross, I believe you went 2-1 last week. So still we're hitting positives. As long as we keep getting our ratios up, we are chucking in the right direction. So without further ado, let's go for 3 for 3 or 3 in a row. Family plays. What's your family play?
All right. So Cam Ward obviously does not play, so I cannot fall on him. So we're going to go to a game tonight, the Dodgers and Padres game. Now, there's no Game 7. Obviously, the MLB changed the rules. Now it's best of 5. It's still Game 7 feels, an elimination game. This is where your best players show out. I think, obviously, the Dodgers are the better team. They are very stacked. They have Shohei Ohtani. They have Mookie Betts. They have all the bats in the world. I think the Dodgers are going to go absolutely insane with the bats. I am going Yu Darvish's under of strikeouts. And I know it's 4, but watching a lot of these games, especially this series, when guys don't have it, they are not striking guys out. They're getting taken out very, very early. It is an elimination game. If Yu Darvish gets rocked the first 2-3 innings, he is gone. This is your season. Season is on the line. You are not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I watched the Yankees game yesterday. Obviously, shout them out going to the ALCS. Garrett Cole had a couple of moments where it was a little rocky. Now, if that's an elimination game, he's gone right off the rip. It might be a little different with Aaron Boone. He's not on my favorite list, but this is different. This is your season on the line. 4 strikeouts. He could push this. He could go under. I just don't see him getting to 5. I think it's a pretty big number considering, again, elimination game. You have a couple of mistakes. I think that is it. I'm going to go Yu Darvish is under pitching strikeouts. And I know Major loves the strikeout props, so I'm going to shout him out there. We're going to go the under Yu Darvish.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said here, and it goes perfectly with my prop I'm going to do. I'm going to do hits, runs, RBIs for my favorite player in the MLB, a guy that has just busted out of his playoff slump, Mookie Betts. And as a Red Sox fan, loves Mookie, still loved him after he was traded. I'm rolling with my guy. He is one of the best players in baseball. I'm talking top 3, top 4 to me when he's on his game. And he has been all year. He's been incredible. He has struggled in the postseason Up until these past 2 games, he has been absolutely killing it. He has busted out. I believe he has had a home run as well as another hit in each and every game for these past 2, and I'm just riding with him. I know the stats there. You look at 2 out of 3, and baseball is very, you know, you can have really high games and really low. We look at, see who's a good baseball player, averages, right? Because each game can be so very different. Um, and I will be honest, he does not have an amazing track record against Yu Darvish. But if you've paid attention to this series, there have been a lot of runs. Pitchers have not been getting, to your point, a lot of strikeouts. Teams are putting up runs. Pitchers are getting taken out. For the playoffs, they're getting taken out a little bit earlier. It's do or die. Big rivalry. You need Mookie Betts, and Mookie Betts, it's won 2 World Series for a reason. That guy is incredible. He shows up in big moments. He's going to tonight. He's going to hit a home run for me in 3 straight games. At least get 2 base hits. But I'm rolling with it. I like that our picks go together for this family play too. We're kind of both on the same wavelength there. With that, I'm interested to see if our other picks go together. So, Ross, what is your next pick?
We're going to go stay with the same sport. Another big game 5 tomorrow. Tigers and Guardians. Now, I hope it's still up there. It should be. So, yep, there it is. Skubals over 6 strikeouts. Now, if you've watched any of these playoffs, if you've even watched just this season, he's the best pitcher. Obviously, for a reason. He is the ace. He is the number 1 guy. As a Yankee fan, I do not want to see. That's a guy that is very, very scary. Now, he's pitched, I believe, the first game against Houston, he pitched 6 innings, and Cleveland was 7 innings, or it might be flip-flopped. But he's going to get a lot of time. Again, it is game 5. You go with the best players, the best pitchers, the best everything. This guy has shown you all season that he's got it. Even when he lets up 1 or 2 runs, you still have the confidence of him to continue to go for the over. I think it'll be a really good game tomorrow. I'm really excited to watch it, but I just don't see a reason he doesn't get to at least 6. I love these even numbers because it's a lot easier to, bail out on the push. I think he goes over. I think he can get 7, 8, 9. I think he's going to be absolutely tearing it up. And the last time he played Cleveland, he had 8 strikeouts. So Cleveland strikes out a little bit. And again, game 5, I just think the best players come out, the best absolute performances come out. And especially in a game 5 where you're at Cleveland, you're not even at home. You really have to step it up. I think that he's going to be absolutely insane. I love his over 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, and to your point, we're talking about pitchers get pulled early if they're not playing well, but you ride your best players when they are playing well, and the Tigers aren't even supposed to be there. They're playing with house money, and you're throwing out your ace on house money. No pressure on you, all the pressure on the other team. You just tell them, go out there and ball, man. Just go throw the ball, see what happens. And he plays with emotion. I love that prop. Whenever you said it, I really do enjoy that prop. And watching him pitch, I think that's a money prop too.
Yep.
Mine is, I'm going to do a strikeout prop too. And it's the game tonight. And almost the exact same things you said for Yu Darvish. I'm going to go fade the other half of this game. I'm just going to butcher his name because for some reason I can never say it. Yamamoto or whatever. I can literally never say it right. And the under has only hit 2 out of 5, but he's only recently been pitching about 3 to 4 innings. And if you have followed any major monies where I ever do pitcher props and ever play one against the Padres strike out the least in the MLB. They have also not been striking out this postseason. So it's not like in the postseason they've jumped up and they've been more aggressive. They just don't strike out. Even games where they've been aggressive, they just have guys that put it in play. So you can see he pitched against the Padres earlier, just I believe 6 days ago, and only had 1 strikeout. Then he's pitched twice in the regular season, went 1-1 over 3.5. I really like this prop. He is also hit or miss in his pitching. And like we were saying, you're going to pull a pitcher, especially if you're playing the Padres. You're going to pull a pitcher because they can put up some damage. And you're not going to let a guy run, maybe 5 earned runs in a winner go home game, like he did in 3 innings against the Padres last time. They let him pitch 3 innings. He's not even going to get that if he's pitching at that level. He's going to be out. So I really like this under. It's a very popular play. Shout out Sean. We talked about Sean earlier. He's on this play as well, and that put the thought in my idea to do some research on it, and I fell in love with it. So I'm not going to butcher his name again. I am so sorry if you ever see this or if you're a Dodgers fan. I just don't know why his name does not compute in my head, but I'm fading him, so maybe I seem like a big hater right now. So, Ross, what's your third and final play?
I'm going to go Saturday. We're going to switch the sport up, college football. Biggest game of the weekend, I would say probably biggest game of the year. I know it's tough to – there's a couple of other games throughout the season that are big, but this is probably the biggest one up to this moment. Ohio State, Oregon. We're going Dylan Gabriel's passing touchdowns over 1.5. Now, as an Ohio State fan, I know exactly how this game's going to go. It is going to be an absolute bloodbath. The defense hasn't been super superior this year, and they haven't played any real tough opponents. They played Iowa, was probably their toughest, and Iowa's offense, as we know, is not the craziest. It's a little bit better this year, but obviously not to the standard of Oregon. Oregon scores 35 points flat a game. He's hit this every game this year. He's gone over it every single time. I just see this game being an absolute bloodbath, shootout. I think it's going to be in the 40s. And I said this last time when it was Alabama and Georgia, and I was right on the money. It was going to be a shootout. It was a shootout. I see this being a shootout. I cannot see this being a game where it's defensive and there's a lot of runs and stuff like that, even though Ohio State's going to do that because they have the 2 best running backs probably in football. Top 5, of course. But yeah, I just see this game going over. He's a really great quarterback. He's probably going to try to get to the league at some point. They have a lot of weapons. This team is really, really hot right now, and it's going to be America's game of the week. I love this game. Give me the over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's a virtual lock. This is one of my really favorite picks of the weekend.
Yeah, this game is wild, and we're getting it so early, and then you're following that up with next weekend just a forecast with Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have several really good games. We are getting spoiled. That is the one benefit of the expanded conferences. You are getting spoiled with good games here. And I like rolling with guys in big games, some of the best players. Like we talked about with baseball, doing that with Dylan Gabriel. I like this prop as well. Because even if it is a lower scoring game, you can very easily get 2 passing touchdowns with such a high-powered offense. And typically in college, especially when the 2 of the best teams play, have good offenses, it's usually not low scoring. So, because they are still college kids and make mistakes. So you're going with one of the best games of the week. I am going as a humble North Carolina fan with a crapshoot game of the week that only North Carolina and Georgia Tech fans will be watching and all wishing we didn't have to watch it. Jacoby Criswell, over 235.5 passing yards. North Carolina might literally have the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. All right, they are horrible. Their offense puts up yards. As you can see, he went 475, 251, 269. And they just did not do good. They lost all 3 of those games. So their quarterback's putting up numbers and they're putting up points and they lost. For example, James Madison, we put up 50 and we lost by 20. So don't know how that happens. But they have to score and they have to pass. Then you combine it. Georgia Tech lets up 251 passing yards a game. All right. So they have a terrible, terrible pass defense. To my point of how many points North Carolina has to score, we have the 101st ranked scoring defense in the nation. Right, that's not just Power 5, or Power 4 now. That is horrendous for just college football in general. So I am going to go that. The only 2 times he did not hit it, you see, against Charlotte, he had 2 passing yards. He threw 1 pass. Then in the game against North Carolina Central, he had 161 passing yards. He actually split time in that game. So all 3 times he's been the full-time starter, he's gone well over. I don't see that changing playing a bad defense with his defense not improving either. So I think this is like shoe-in. If we don't get this, then I don't know. It is a disaster. So I think our college football props are pretty good. We picked some high leverage baseball ones that like you think you can predict, but I think our college football ones are pretty good.
Mm.
All right. With that, that is all of our picks. We both threw up 3. Remember, to the 270 plus of y'all watching, thank y'all for being here. We will be back next week around 6 o'clock every Friday for our Flex Friday picks. We do major monies every Sunday night football and as well as Tuesday nights. Ross will get on a couple of those as well. So if you like Ross's picks, you can show up to those as well. But with that, thank you all for watching. Let's steal some money from Prize Picks, and we're going 3 for 3 back to back to back on family plays. We're riding this hot streak. So y'all have a good night.